Hello there, Karen Petty here. I am an early childhood curriculum specialist and I love all things Canvas for younger students. I've used it for lots of years now as a university instructor, and now I'm excited that so many schools have adopted it for distance learning. Well, I know that many of you have prepared your Canvas classroom for distance learning, but then for those of you who are going back to school, did you know that it can be a wonderful tool to use in the face-to-face classroom as well? Well, in this video, we're going to take a look at 9 additional ways to use the Canvas Learning Management System in your face-to-face classroom. So let's get started. The first one that we want to look at and talk about is homework. You can load homework assignments into places like modules. We'll look over at the left side, course navigation menu, modules here, as announcements, assignments, discussions, so that they can be easily accessed by the children and their parents. No more sending home worksheets that may be lost in the car or on the way to school or on the way home. No more trying to organize everything in folders and making sure that you stuff it in their backpacks. It's all right here at their fingertips and our fingertips in our Canvas classroom. It's just a great place to keep everything all intact. I like to think of it as just one great big file cabinet, but with a much better filing system than I could ever produce. Now let's look at parent connections. You know, connecting with our parents is so important, especially in today's times. And so we are so lucky to have something like this, something like a Canvas classroom, an online place that we can house all of our communication. It's all right there. It can be archived in case you need to pull it up later. It's just right here for parents to access as often as they want to. And we can communicate with them through announcements, through email, through discussions. You can set up a parent discussion board. There are so many things that you can do to use the Canvas classroom and to stay connected with your parents. It's just a really good feature. Now let's walk on over and let's talk about learning centers. You can go to modules and you can literally set up a module. Here it comes. For pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, first or second grade, you can set it up. Now, I've set these up according to their pre-K guidelines or TEKS, but you can set them up according to the learning centers that you offer in your classroom. Now, no, I'm not asking that our children go to centers online. Absolutely not. But I am saying that in the case that you want to give some direct instruction for them to use within the learning center, because we know that learning centers are mostly self-directed. Now, let me pause and say that when I refer to learning centers, I am referring to the Patillo and Vaughn definition of learning centers. They published a fabulous book about learning centers years ago that you can find online, Janice Patillo and Elizabeth Vaughn. But I'm referring to learning centers as a specific place / space that houses many activities, not just one activity as a center, but it houses many activities. And online, I would do the same thing. I would put many activities in my emergent literacy center, or I would put many activities in my science center or my fine arts center. And looking at the TEKS, I would put activities within each one of these. I could actually call these my learning centers. When I taught first grade in Texas public schools years ago, I taught for almost 20 years, pre-K, K, first and second. But when I taught first grade, I had a rotation of 3 areas. I had a third of the children with me at the reading table. A third were sitting at their desk doing board work, and I don't mean B-O-R-E-D, although that may be what they considered it to be. It's really B-O-A-R-D. And then the other third were in learning centers. And so if I could have had something like Canvas that I could have uploaded or recorded my voice, giving them those extra prompts and cues and directions on how to use specific activities or do specific activities, it would have been fabulous. I'm so excited that in today's times, you are afforded the opportunity to do that with your children. Okay, I want to move on. So makeup work. We know that children are absent for various reasons, especially in today's times. And so this would be a way that you could use Canvas to house your makeup work all in one place, just for children who are not getting the benefit of your direct instruction in the face-to-face classroom. You can use your modules and have just a makeup work module that you publish or unpublish as needed, or you could do it in other ways. I know you'll be creative, but keep your makeup work housed in this one big file cabinet. Okay, the gradebook. This is a fabulous feature in Canvas. Even if your district uses outside entities for grades, which I know that my grandchildren, I know that my daughter goes to a different place to look at their grades, but they could all just be housed right here in Canvas. And that way, since parents and children are already here, they can literally just click on their grades and see what it is that is happening in real time. Okay, let's look at lesson planning. Again, use your modules. You could create a module just for your lesson planning. Everything that you do according to your standards, goals, objectives, TEKS, guidelines, whatever it is that you use in your state, everything that you do, you could keep adding to it week after week until by the end of the year, you will have a large repository of your lesson planning, and it's all here in one spot just for you to access next year or in years to come. I know that you will tweak it as you go along because all students are different, but at least you would have the beginning, the foundation of your lesson planning housed right here in Canvas. All right, moving on. Individualized instruction. I really love this idea because you can set up a group in Canvas that can be a group of one. And that can be that one particular child's individualized instruction that you place there for them to access as they need it. Now, whole group instruction, you can do it through the whole group in Canvas, or you could do groups in Canvas so that several students, because you have them at all different stages. There's the introductory stage, and then there's the developing stage, and then there's that mastery stage, and then there's all that in between. But you could set up activities that go along with your classroom instruction that will be facilitating additional learning. You're scaffolding them, so to speak. And finally, you can use it for further practice. Now, how is that different than the other things we've talked about? Well, let's look at it like this. Further practice is, say I introduced something today. That was my introductory stage. And I saw several children mastered it right away. And then I saw that some were needing just a little bit more instruction, but we really need to keep moving. And so I can record myself giving further assistance for further practice, and then children could go here, and you could assign children to go to this further practice based upon whatever it was that you taught today or in the past few days or even last week. You just can't move completely on because you have children that are still in the developing stage. I hope that makes sense. Listen, this is great. I'm so glad to have you, and I want you to go below, and there is a link to my website where you can access a Canvas face-to-face cheat sheet so that you can keep these 9 ways right in front of you as you do your curriculum planning in the classroom. Now, there's also a link to my online school for professional development. In particular, there's a basic Canvas course for those of you who work with younger students and you're just starting out, or even if you just want to further your knowledge, get a little more practice on all things Canvas. So be sure to check that out as well. So bye for now, and I'll see you in my next Canvas video.